The Accountant 2 brings back Ben Affleck as Christian Wolff, the forensic accountant who has the ability to solve insane complex problems that most people can't do due to him being autistic. When an acquaintance of Wolff's, Ray King, played by returning J.K. Simmons, is killed, the deputy investigator, Mary Beth Medina, played by also returning Cynthia Robinson, finds a note from King on his arm that says, "Find the accountant," leading her to, again, Christian Wolff. Trying to pick up the investigation where King left off before he was killed, they are looking for a family that has disappeared that King was looking for. Wolff brings on his brother Braxton, again played by Jon Bernthal, as they work a case with twists and turns, clues, action, all while attempting to reconnect a brotherly bond between Chris and Braxton. Now, I didn't remember a lot about the first Accountant film. I remember liking it a lot, but I completely forgot the premise of the story, who also was in it, and I was going to try to watch it again before the release of the second film. By the way, they did a tax day preview showing of this film, which I thought was great marketing, by the way. Caught me by surprise. The actual release date is on the 25th of this month, but I was pretty excited to see this one, so I rushed to the theater. And I have to say, this movie did not disappoint. I'm always a little skeptical of sequels to movies that I really enjoyed. I sort of prepare myself for a letdown before going in because, let's face it, these days sequels are thrown together money grabs. But I have to say, I love this movie. Is it a perfect movie that bleeds realism? No way. But it is a really fun ride that keeps you guessing until the end, with a reveal that is a huge payoff in the end. I'm a little biased because I have a special place in my heart for Ben Affleck. From that first time that I saw him in Chasing Amy, and when I saw him and Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting, I was hooked.
We'll put you on a program. Every day you come in with your 6 cents, and at the end of the week, you get your sandwich.
Though his good movies are really good and his bad are pretty bad, I've always been a fan. And I was good with Batfleck.
I believe you.
I love his take on the Cape Crusader, even though I'm pretty loyal to Michael Keaton's Batman and Nolan's Batman. I think Nolan's Batman is the best written, but I digress. I love Ben Affleck, and even though I wasn't sold on his autistic character being completely realistic, I enjoyed him in this film. By the way, I know that the portrayal of autism in this film isn't quite accurate, but I love the way they see autism as a superpower, not in a Rain Man sort of way, but as a superhero that is the smartest person in the room and just the person that you want to call on to get the job done, and not a victim. There are scenes that show Chris's struggle with social settings, like a great scene where he's attempting to engage in a speed dating situation. At first, all the ladies rush to his table, leaving all the other tables with the other guys empty, because he's figured out the algorithm to the speed dating system, getting the women to his table. But when they sit down with him, it's awkward, funny, and feels sort of forced by him to be social. And it's a funny, sweet, endearing scene that's funny without making fun of someone with autism. I was excited to see Jon Bernthal as Braxton again. I love the juxtaposition that he has with his brother. He is super cool, all in black, Waylon Jennings t-shirt, coolest guy in the room type of guy. But on the inside, he just wants to be wanted and loved by his brother.
Do you not miss me because of me, or is it your condition?
Bernthal has some amazing, memorable scenes, and he is incredibly fun to watch in this film. There's a scene where he's trying to convince someone selling a corgi to him to give it to him early, even though he can't get the dog until after it's bonded with its mother for 2 weeks. And it really made me laugh when I saw this scene. And when this scene connects to another scene that closes out the film, it was perfect. The back and forth between the two brothers are so much fun to watch, and the pair work really well together. And I believe them as brothers, and I feel like one scene may have been improvised by both actors because it felt so organic in a way, and the way it played out. I can't be for sure, but if it was improvised, it was perfect for that scene. There are a whole lot of twists and turns in this film, nothing that I really saw coming, and the scene where there is a huge reveal that if you see this coming, you are a film savant, or I'm just completely clueless. But I absolutely loved it. And it was such a great buildup of clues and twists that really paid off in a way that I actually cared about. One with heart, but something that I've never seen before. I would have liked to see more of J.K. Simmons in this film. I love him, like the first film, because I love watching him work as an actor. But it didn't hurt the film for me. It actually gave the film someone you wanted to see avenged just because of who the actor is and his character in the first film. And by the way, they give Simmons a pretty great action scene in the beginning of this movie where he goes to town on some guys. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more action in this movie, but I enjoyed the lead up to where the story was going, that I didn't mind it as much because I really enjoyed the story and the in-between funny moments that the writers did such a great job on. It combines so many elements of suspense, comedy, action, heart, and mystery that makes it a very well-rounded film that keeps the film going in a direction that is never boring or stale. Everything from the writing to the directing, again, like the first film directed by Gavin O'Connor, and the editing makes the film all flow together seamlessly. Even the choice of music during certain events of the film were chosen with purpose and add to the complete feel of the film, and sometimes gives it a nice grittiness. It's a little over 2 hours in runtime, but it didn't really feel that way. The film started around 7. By 8:30, I still wasn't sure if everything had been revealed, and I kind of liked that. They kept the mystery going. There's a lot thrown at you, and it's a little confusing at first, but as Affleck's character, he can put it together with ease. As the people around him are completely confused, you kind of feel like everyone around him trying to figure out the mystery of it all too, but not really getting it. I thought that was a great immersive experience, in my opinion. It can be a kind of a heavy movie at times, and there is some emotional weight to the film, but it does a great job at balancing the weight and the humor. There's a great scene in a cowboy bar with Chris and his brother, and Chris decides to try line dancing for some reason. I guess he's trying to open up the world of being social. It's a scene that seems like just a funny, sweet, unnecessary scene, but you're really glad it's there. But in essence, it's giving you some emotional lightness before it gets heavy again. Sort of like an emotional roller coaster timeout. This film had great balance to it all. The Accountant 2 is a fun ride with a great mystery with enough twists and turns to keep you entertained throughout the whole film. You'll enjoy Affleck's character, but Jon Bernthal, I think, steals the show. He's so fun to watch, and you really care about his character from beginning to end. It could have used a little bit more action, but it is a well-balanced film. It was funny enough, and it had enough action and heart that the other people in the theater laughed together and cheered at the end of the movie and clapped at the end. This is a film to experience on a huge screen with as many people in the theater as possible. I'm giving The Accountant 4 stars out of 5 for this reason. And honestly, I'm giving this rating more on how much I love this movie and how much fun I had watching it than on film theory and film techniques, because it was just a really fun ride that I'm probably going to go see again in theaters next week when it officially comes out. And that's rare for me. Is it an award-winning film? No, not really. And I did feel like there were some questions that needed to be answered at the end of the film, but it does the job it was made for, and it does it incredibly well. It is rated a strong R for language and violence throughout, but it is a really, really fun movie. So let me know if you're planning on seeing The Accountant 2 when it comes out on the 25th. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't. I love connecting with you in the comments. Like and subscribe if you haven't already to get my take on all the new films hitting the theaters. And remember, don't wait till it streams. Let's go to the theater and let's see it together.
I thought I saw an Airstream in one of your photos.
Yes, that's my home. That's where I live.
Oh, permanently?
Well, as long as I'm alive.
Oh.
Eventually, this body will be a corpse.